What's up, survivalists? Optimum FN here, and thanks for hanging out with me today. And welcome back to Remnants. Back here with another quick guide for you. If you guys have missed any of my previous guides, I'll link a playlist up in the top corner. Make sure to go and check them out. All right, so today's quick furnace guide is an update to my previous furnace guide. Now, we are going to get into it. Some changes have happened in Remnants with updates and patches, and I wanted to give you some updated information on the furnaces. Now, there currently is two furnaces in the game, which is your standard furnace and your scrap furnace. So let's get into how you craft these bad boys, because some things have changed here. Now, the furnace used to need the workbench to craft it. It no longer needs the workbench to craft the furnace. You are going to need 20 wood, 15 stone, and 10 low-grade fuel. Now, the scrap furnace you can find in the world, and you can learn this with either a recycle kit or a research kit. Once you have learned it or you find it, you can craft it with a workbench, and it's going to cost you 15 scrap metal, 3 plates, and 10 low grade fuel to craft the scrap furnace. Now, once you have either furnace crafted up, you're going to want to throw it on your hotbar and place it down in your base or wherever you want to put it, and left click it to place the item. Now, to interact with it, you are going to hold E to get into it, but let's first get into some of the resources that you can smelt in either one of these furnaces. All right, so let's talk about the resources that you can smelt inside the furnaces here. Now, these items that I'm about to talk about, you do not need any tools in the furnace to smelt these down to get the resources. You just throw them in your furnace and they're going to smelt down. So you have your scrap metal, your empty cans, your metal ore, your sulfur ore, your stone, your animal hide, and that is it. All these items here, you do not need a tool to smelt down and get these resources. So let's go a little bit further into it. The scrap metal is going to give you metal fragments. The empty can will give you metal fragments, and the metal ore will give you metal fragments. Now I'm going to throw up an image of the metal ore. This is what the metal ore looks like in your northern biomes. And then here's an image of what the metal ore looks like down in the desert. Now let's move on to sulfur. Sulfur, you're going to smelt down, and that is going to give you sulfur for different recipes that you're going to need in the future. Now, here's an image of what the sulfur looks like in the northern biomes. And then here is an image of what the sulfur ore looks like in the desert. Now, stone you can stick in your furnace and you can smelt this down into gravel. Gravel is used to make cement mix. You're going to need that later on in your journeys here. Now, here's what your stone looks like in the northern biomes. And then in the desert, you can get stone anywhere. Now, animal hide, you can smelt this down and you're going to get leather out of it. So these are all, again, all the items that you can smelt down without a tool. All right, so let's get into the tools that you're going to need to smelt the rest of these items down even further. So you're going to need a stone mold. Now, with the stone mold, you will need a workbench to craft this. It is going to cost you 5 stone. The other tool that you can use in the furnace is the foundry pot. And the foundry pot you have to find in the world as well. Once you learn it with the recycle kit or the research kit, you will need a workbench to craft it. It is going to cost you 5 clay to craft it. So those are the two tools that you can use in the furnace that are currently in the game at the moment here. So once you have the mold or the foundry pot, these are the items that you can smelt down even further. With the mold, you can smelt the metal fragments down into low-grade metal. You can smelt the gold nuggets down into ingots. Now I'm going to throw up an image of a boulder down in the desert where you get gold nuggets out of. And currently, you can only get gold nuggets in the desert. Now, the other item you need with the mold is clay, and you get bricks out of the clay by smelting those down. Now, here is an image of what a clay node looks like in the north biomes. Now, I have never seen a clay node in the desert, so we will get into the resource here of what you can find in the desert with a shovel. Now, with this clay, you will need a shovel to scoop up those clay nodes. Next item that you can smelt in the furnaces is going to take a foundry pot, and that is sand. Sand, you just need a shovel and take yourself down into the desert and scoop anywhere that there is sand, and you will get sand out of it. Once you smelt sand down into the furnace, you will get glass fragments with the foundry pot. All right, so let's take a closer look at each individual furnace here. So once you have your furnace, you are going to need a fuel source like wood, green wood, sticks, or bark. That is a good fuel source. Once you have your fuel source, it is going to give you charcoal. You just shift click into your furnace, and it's going to go in a systematic order here. So it's going to smelt all these down. If I were to put the empty cans in here, once these all smelt down, it will go to this item. You cannot split these stacks, and they do not cook out of order. It's one stack per item. I wish it was double, but that's currently in the game. It's one stack at a time. So as we talked about before, your metal scrap is going to give you metal frags, cans, or are going to give you these metal frags. All right, so we talked about that. You can throw your sulfur in here. Same thing. You cannot split these stacks here and cook them separately like you can in the campfire, stove, or the barbecue. All right, so let's talk about the stone here. The stone, again, it's going to give you gravel. Once you smelt this bad boy down, you will get gravel, which is used for the cement mix. And then animal hide here is the last one here without a tool that you can get leather with. And that's going to smelt down and give you your leather. So let's talk about the other furnace, which is the scrap furnace. The scrap furnace operates the same way. You can smelt items down. You need a fuel source. It will give you charcoal. It's going to scrap these items down. You cannot split these items into different stacks. You have to wait till it uses all these resources to go to the next stack. All right, so you can see I'm putting multiple items in here. It's going to this, and then it'll go to that, and then it would go to that. All right, so let's talk about the tools. So again, to make these items here, you need the molds. So once you have the stone mold in here, you take your metal fragments, you throw it in there, give it a second, and it's going to start to smelt these down into metal, low-grade metal. So you're going to need that for a resource later on down the line. Gold nuggets, you do the same thing here. You smelt these down, and these are going to give you your ingots, which you need for the trader. He sells certain items that you're going to need gold ingots for. And then lastly, with the stone mold is the clay, which you need to use the shovel on the nodes. And these are going to give you bricks. Now, once you have your bricks, you can use these to upgrade your bases to the highest tier possible that are currently in the game right now. Now let's talk about the foundry pot. So you have to have your fuel, charcoal. You don't need it, but it's going to produce the charcoal anyway. But you have your foundry pot. You throw your sand in there that you get from the desert, and you smelt that up, and it's going to give you your glass fragments. Now you're going to need these glass fragments to craft the research bench and some other items in the game. So you're going to need to get the sand to do that for those items. Now you can do the same thing that I just did in the scrap furnace in this furnace with all the same tools, and you're going to get the same items in the furnace as well. Where you start with this one, when you start the game, no workbench needed. This one you have to find in the world, and once you learn it, you can craft it. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this updated quick furnace guide. I hope you guys found the information informative. I hope that sheds some light on the two different furnaces that are currently in the game and the types of resources you can smelt down and get out of the furnaces. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Also, come by and check out and hang out with us on our Discord. Link is down in my socials. I'm there all the time. If you guys want to shoot me a question or shoot me a message, feel free to do so. I will be streaming on Sundays at 4 o'clock. I'll also be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern over on YouTube. So come out and hang out. But as always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more videos. And I thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later. Until next time, take it easy.